Hey, what's going on? This is Matt, and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to tell you about what a lot of people have called the forgotten nutrient, and it's one of the top nutrients to keep your mental alertness on point. Iodine deficiency is the most prevalent and preventable cause of mental impairment in the world, and it's one of the top 3 nutritional deficiencies along with magnesium and vitamin D. Now, iodine is crucial to a number of areas in your health, and some of the most notable include stabilization of metabolism and body weight, brain and physical development in children, optimizing your immune function, and lifelong brain function. Now in this video, we're going to focus on lifelong brain function, which breaks down into the 2 subcategories of neurotransmitters and neuroprotection. Now in order to understand the importance of iodine in regards to brain function, we have to take a real quick look at the thyroid gland, which is located at the base of your neck right here. Your thyroid gland produces the hormones T3 and T4, both of which are largely composed by the element iodine. T3, also known as triiodothyronine, and T4, also known as thyroxine, help your brain activate neurotransmitters and therefore have a tangible effect on your day-to-day quality of life. For example, T3, which is your body's active form of thyroid hormone, is critical to your brain's production of serotonin. And studies have actually shown that low levels of T3 lead to low levels of serotonin, which means decreased mood and decreased happiness. For another example, studies have also shown that increasing your levels of T4 leads to increased levels of the neurotransmitter acetylcholine, which is critical for your mood, memory, focus, and learning. In a similar manner, the thyroid hormones T3 and T4 also affect both dopamine and GABA production. So in a nutshell, that's how iodine helps your thyroid to produce the hormones that are needed to help your brain produce the neurotransmitters that it needs to function correctly on a day-to-day basis. Now we're going to move on to the area of neuroprotection, which is basically how iodine works to protect your brain and your nervous system. One of the most interesting things about iodine is that it's part of the halide or halogen group of elements, which also include fluorine, bromine, chlorine, and astatine. These elements, unfortunately, will outcompete iodine and actually block iodine receptors in your glands and therefore prevent iodine from being absorbed by your body where it needs it. Now, this situation spells trouble for your long-term health because not only is your body not getting enough of the element that it needs, iodine, but it's also getting way too much of the elements that are toxic and your body doesn't need, fluorine, bromine, and chlorine. These elements are quite toxic. Fluorine, for example, has been linked to thyroid cancer and loss of IQ, among many other symptoms. Bromine can cause bromism, which is a disease caused by chronic exposure to bromine or one of its compounds. Bromism is characterized by memory loss, mental dullness, slurred speech, tremors, ataxia, which is the loss of full control of bodily movements, and a transitory state resembling paranoid schizophrenia. Chlorine, the most widely used halogen, has similarly been linked to low levels of T3 and T4. Now this is all bad news, but the silver lining here is that when we get our iodine levels up to the point where they need to be, iodine will start to displace the fluorine, bromine, and chlorine that is in your glandular system, and it will gradually be able to detoxify those compounds. So in the area of neuroprotection, not only does iodine help to detox the halogens that we just discussed, it also helps your body detox heavy metals such as mercury, arsenic, and cadmium by binding to them so that they can be excreted in the urine. Iodine can help prevent and treat certain cancers by inducing apoptosis or cancer cell death. Iodine is also extremely anti-pathogenic and can kill bacteria, fungus, and most viruses that it comes into contact with. So how exactly do you go about getting enough iodine in your diet? Well, it turns out that iodine is mainly synonymous with the ocean. So if you eat quite a bit of seafood and especially quite a bit of seaweed, then you don't have to worry about supplementing. Otherwise, supplementing with iodine is probably the best idea because iodine is present in a lot of foods such as vegetables, meats, eggs, and grass-fed dairy, but it's only present in small amounts. So the only way we can get optimal amounts in most cases is through supplementation. Now from the research I've done, it turns out that your body needs 2 forms of iodine, which is elemental iodine and iodide, which is when iodine mixes with another element. Iodine supplementation, like zinc, follows the Goldilocks principle. And that means that we obviously don't want too little, but we definitely don't want too much either, so we want to strive just to get the right amount. So when we get iodine supplements, it's really best to follow the directions and not overdo it. And that's especially the case if we're going to supplement for long periods of time. One last factor to have on your radar is that iodine supplementation is best with other nutrients which include vitamin C, zinc, and selenium. So it's best to do some research if you want to supplement with iodine, just to make sure that you've got all your nutritional bases covered. And with that, we've just concluded why exactly iodine is so incredibly important for your body and your brain. If you enjoyed the video today, feel free to hit the like button below. I super appreciate you taking the time to watch and look forward to seeing you next time.